All right, if everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. If you're a Scouter in uniform, you can salute the flag and that you put your right hand over your heart. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Well, thank you very much. Okay. Hopefully we won't have this. Well, thank you very much for coming to March's Rushmore District Roundtable meeting. This is the second time we've done this here at the School of Mines. A little bit of glitches with electronics, or maybe not even electronics, just getting access to the electronics, it sounds like. So, I guess with that, has everybody signed in on the sign-in sheet? So we've got that. If anybody need to sign in, or I'll tell you what, if you like, I can leave this back here, and if somebody walks by you trip them with the sheet, then have you signed in?
I did not.
You didn't trip her.
She didn't come by this week.
I didn't walk by her, it's not her fault.
We'll take just a couple seconds for that, and then...
Sure. You don't need to stop for me, Kevin.
Okay. And we do have some visitors here tonight to make a presentation from the Little Nest Preschool. I do have something set up that Garrett has on our council website. I'm not sure if you wanted to use that or not. You can if you like. I'm not sure what you may want to do, but by all means, the floor is yours. And if you want to use it, you by all means may. If you want to list it all or need this, it's.
Oh, that's cool.
That's nice.
I'm Laura Lyson, the assistant manager at Little Nest Preschool.
My name is Jessica Castleberry, and I am the owner of Little Nest Preschool.
And we've come to ask your help to build a playground for our students. We're a new center that has moved to, well, we're an older center, but we've moved to a new facility in September. We've been open since 2010. We're a quality preschool who focuses on conscious discipline, which is a positive way to interact with our children. What we would like, here's a small, almost a scale, a sketch of what we'd like on our playground. We have photos of a little tire hill. We don't want it quite this big, so it would only be 14 tires total. And then a dragon made out of semi-tires. I don't know if you can see that very well.
A lot of the focus of what we're trying to do is also recycling. So that's something that we're trying to utilize, recycled materials, also as part of our lessons with the kids of utilizing things in the environment for their play areas.
We are also looking at using more natural items in our playground, like natural building blocks made from cut down logs and branches, skipping stones made from
Concrete pavers.
Safe slides, where the slides are actually built into the side of a mound so that the children can't fall from the sides. An outdoor nature area with the sinks and a pretend cooking area. And then a gazebo for shade and picnicking and sandboxes, like a 25 by 25 foot square area.
We have no trees. And we're out in Rapid Valley, and so there's quite a bit of intense sunlight. We do have other organizations that have volunteered to do some of our other projects. School of Mines is one that's working with us to create a science water area. And so we would be thrilled. We have a few different projects that, if you're interested, that you could select from. But we would be thrilled if anyone would consider helping us with any of these projects.
We're looking for just a railroad tie area where the railroad ties are staked down to the ground that we're going to fill in with pea gravel so that we can put the equipment in there so if the children fall, it's a safer place to fall on. The pea gravel would be 6 inches deep. And we need that area 48 by 40 feet in a rectangle shape. And then just green treated wood in a rectangle shape to go around the water play area, or the water table area. And that we would need 12 feet by 6 feet. And then with the tires, maybe a Boy Scout group to come out and help pave the tires and the cement pavers for the skipping areas and the climbing tire area. So if any of you would be interested for your troops or an Eagle Scout project, we'd really appreciate your help.
Do you have all of the things that are needed to build this, or is this something that people would need to provide the
A
stuff to
little of
build
both. With the tires, I am able to get some from the landfill. The bigger cement tires, I could probably call some of the trucking companies, tire companies here in town. We have the cement pavers.
Part of what we were under the impression of is that part of their project as Boy Scouts was to come up with some of the supplies. And so we have the capability of coming up with them and providing them. We can absolutely do that. We've talked to Dale's Tire and a few other places that are definitely willing to contribute. But we kind of held off a little bit just until we knew what your end of everything was. We have also been doing some fundraising. So we have money for paints, we have money for, we already got the pavers,
Right.
So there's flexibility on our end of what we can provide, but the manpower, even if it's middlemen, is very, very valuable.
So you are a nonprofit then?
We are not.
You're not, okay.
No. We are a small preschool. We have 54 students right now. So.
volunteer hours. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And, well, this more than likely probably for everybody, we'd be offering this up to our troop and then we'd discuss it and all that stuff. So we just either contact, I imagine, yourself, Jessica, or
Yep.
either one of you.
Absolutely.
Let you know what time we can volunteer.
Yep.
Okay.
Right, but we do have, I copied off 3 different copies of each pictures. And then we have 5 copies of the graph for the playground for anyone who would provide that for us. And then the contact information is on the sheet.
And we can also email anything out as well. And, we have our website if you just want to find out a little bit more about us. And we appreciate your consideration.
What's your goal for having this completed then?
Ideally.
Ideally would be early to mid-May, because we'd be using the playground a lot more for the summer activities. The School of Mines project is supposed to be completed by the end of spring break, which is not this Friday, but next Friday. Any other questions? Like I said, and Jessica said, your help would be greatly appreciated. The children would love to have a new playground to play on. Yes.
Is there a special time, like, obviously you don't want people working during the day when you have these, what kinds of hours are you looking at? Weekend times, evening times?
I'm open to be there on evenings or weekends, whatever
Anytime.
would fit your schedule.
Absolutely. Anytime. That's fine.
This project is really dear to my heart. When I was hired by Jessica, I told her I would spearhead fundraising and getting some playground.
We went from being an in-home daycare to having 2 in-home daycares to moving into the larger center space, and it's been a really big process getting to this point. And pretty much with all of the conversions to the building and everything, it pretty much tapped out all the resources that we had, the sprinkler systems and all of the state requirements. So we have a big, beautiful classroom space for our children now, and a huge open field, which it's a huge amount of space. We've got the biggest play space in Rapid City. We're on over an acre of land, but it's just open right now. It's surrounded with field fence, and so to have the additional help, would be wonderful and absolutely appreciated. We're also providing some community events. We're doing a community Easter egg hunt. We're just looking at ways that we can reach out.
Trunk or treat.
Yeah, we'll be doing a trunk or treat and Halloween. We're just looking at ways that, with the space that we have, how can we reach out into the community and do more? So
we need your help to help the community too.
Thank you. If anyone else has any questions,
we do have parent night too, where staff volunteers 3.5 hours. Like the Friday before Valentine's Day, we stayed, and the parents were allowed to go out to dinner. But that wasn't just open to our center; it was open to the children and the families in the community.
To have a safe place to take kids on a Friday night for so that they can.
And before Christmas, we did it on a Saturday so the parents could go Christmas shopping without their children. And once again, that was also open to the community.
We can definitely leave information, and I'll leave some business cards also, and then if anybody would like to take one, and all of our information, we do, all of our contact stuff's online too. So, thank you very much for your time. We sure appreciate it. Should we just leave these up?
That'd be fine.
I'll grab some business cards.
Okay.
Pass them around there, I'll take one. Yeah.
Sure.
I'll pass them around to everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.
Take a good look. Take a good look at something. Well, thank you all very much.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate giving us the opportunity to ask.
You bet. Well, at this time, I guess we want to move forward to learning more about the new Cub Scout program coming on full steam ahead. Let's see here. If I click on the right one, there we go. Okay, thank you very much. Poster, yay, what do you know? Change over. All righty.
Hey, well done.
So with our very own Tara Wilcox from Tax 74, you can stand where you want.
All right.
Basically, the show is yours.
How do I get that little thing? Okay, there it is. Almost there too. Oh, it does, doesn't it? Okay. Well, this is.
Want me to run the computer for you?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
If I start to get upset with it, maybe you can come
Yes, I'll
rescue
be
it here
there.
in a moment. But there's nothing like preaching to the choir here. They probably picked the newest Cub Master and committee chair in the room and put us up front. I guess that's our form of education. Probably the only difference between us and yourselves is that Garrett shared with us some of the tutorial information so that we could then turn around and share it with you. So we'll actually be covering both March and April tonight, one of which is the program planning for the year as a whole, from den to pack, and then turning around and just looking at the agenda and the new agenda for the pack meetings based upon the new structures. So today, see, I've already screwed it up. Got it?
You got it?
Okay, maybe. There we go. Talk a little bit more about coordinating your planning from the PAC to the district to the council. Talking about how you will need to increase the audience for all of your requirements. As the Scouts achieve an accomplishment, then they are asked to share that accomplishment with others at your den meetings, possibly including family members in that. Requirements for the ranks and electives that are now the 7 required achievements, or adventures now they're called, rather than achievements. But there are many more beyond the required 7 per rank. And then there are the new requirements that will be coming out with e-learning, which we will share those links with you at the end. That will be available to you come the end of this month. Recognition is slightly different, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then how to prepare to lead that adventure as a den leader and as a PAC committee member. So let's begin with the den. With that, this is effective June 1st. Many of you probably have that date highlighted and circled and maybe X'd out on your calendar, knowing that this goes into effect at that point in time. Just as you would coordinate your planning with all of the council's dates, all of the school's dates, all of the holidays' dates, You will also want to coordinate your planning by subject, not just dates, when you go about looking at the content for the upcoming year. It does require, some of it requires coordination with other dens, not just within your pack, or could be then, of course, with the council. Don't forget that you can accomplish some of these simply by attending some of the council events and do not need to duplicate those yourself. The nice part about the way that this is organized as well is there are a number of electives that you can work on at a PAC meeting that are universal across all den levels, so that everyone who attends that PAC meeting will be able to achieve that elective. With the audience, many of us see that already, that they do need to demonstrate a new skill or share something with the other boys at their den meeting. Here, though, you're asking that you probably want to increase that audience a little bit more and include more of the family members in that. Or if it is a family, if somebody is not able to attend, they can still do so in front of their family. As we mentioned, the requirements for each are listed, and you can access those. They have fun titles that the boys, I think, will enjoy. And it does a good job of describing everything that is in that category for that month. And even though there's only 7 required adventures, there are many more, and you'll want to make sure that you plan for one of those a month, including the summer, especially if you're aiming for the Summertime PAC Award. With then the new handbooks with all of the new requirements will be coming out in May. It kind of seems odd that we're doing the training before seeing all of that. I do know, though, when we went online to look at that information, it made everything much more clearer that we're saying now as they're preparing us to plan for this new system. So do take the time to take a look at that. Just a quick glance is all you need for all of this really to come together for you. You do want to, as always, seek input from your scouts as to what's important to them when it comes to the electives after you get past the 7 requirements, and then highlight what they see as the most motivating subjects for them. Recognition is very much the same as far as how you would approach it during your PAC meeting. The only difference now is that there will be the recognition cards, or the certificate cards, with the insignia that is given for that achievement. And the other difference is that with the recognition, if someone comes in at a higher level or after they pass that level, they're not able to go back and achieve the accomplishments from the younger dens. So if they come in as a bear, they're not going to be able to go back and do the tiger and the wolf requirements. They provide a lot of notes throughout the process in the planning material, your den leader notes, which are rather helpful because they also, especially if you are new and you are a new leader, it will just say, hey, here's a couple things to think about, and it'll guide you back to any of the required paperwork that the council needs. We were in it for a little while and we're like, a tour plan? What's that? So you won't have those moments because those den leader notes will guide you through that. Don't panic, the fun of scouting is definitely still there. That part of it has not changed. If anything, though, you'll be able to use your PAC program to support the adventure requirements. So you'll see the den and the PAC information going hand in hand. It also increases the outdoor adventures, especially for the Cub Scouts. In the past, some of that has been limited by age. That's no longer the case. If anything, they're actually trying to push you to do more outdoors at the younger ages, including a PAC campfire and a PAC overnight camping per level, so once a year. There's also a worksheet that they provide to you to try to figure out how to execute each of these adventures and determine all of the resources that you need. We all know that there's a lot of manpower, a lot of fiscal resources that go into getting these adventures accomplished. And you'll want to plan those things in advance so that you can coordinate. I wanted to keep doing that. Okay, this is not the best snapshot of this, but I do have a copy that I will share. It basically allows you to take the adventure and plan from the adventure down and determine whether you want to accomplish this adventure at a den meeting, at a PAC meeting, or at a council. And then once you decide that, then you have to determine what is the fiscal impact, the manpower, and the other types of planning that needs to be done for that. And this then can become basically a planning worksheet for every single adventure. This would then be completed by the den leader, but then can be brought back to the PAC committee meeting and shared with the group, because it will overlap into the PAC meeting and possibly collaboration with other dens. So this is a good tool that's meant to be done by the person who is doing that adventure and leading that adventure, and then sharing it with the rest of the group to determine where that overlap is, so that you can be efficient with your time in accomplishing as much as possible for the boys. This is not intended in any way, shape, or form to replace your annual PAC planning. You still want to do all of the activities that you have traditionally held. It's just a different structure to your den meetings. Still include all the requirements for Journey to Excellence, still include the Summertime PAC Award requirements. Again, if anything, you'll find some common themes that will increase your efficiency. So most will have a theme. So across each of the den levels, there's probably going to be something that deals with science and technology. And you can incorporate that into a PAC meeting and accomplish that requirement for all levels. So that's an example of where those may overlap, and each of your PACs can decide if you want to accomplish things individually or if you want to accomplish them jointly. Okay, one of the things I would recommend, especially with all of these adventures being somewhat new, I think it's going to take what we've already experienced and already done and just organize them in a different package and doing them together in a different order maybe. Is that I would recommend doing some type of a reflection worksheet when you're done with those activities. You know, what worked, what didn't work, and now what's next. It's that simple to be able to look back and say, okay, this didn't go so well in the PAC setting because maybe the science and technology content was too complicated for the younger group. So we're going to do the science and technology requirements separate. But however, if we're going to talk about something a little bit more simplistic, we can do that together as a group. So that, I think, is going to be really critical as all of us go through this. And I think it'll allow us to help each other and compare notes to say what's been working for me, because that is one of the most valuable things you will gather at the roundtable is feedback from others who have been there and done that and how it works and what is effective and not effective, so that you're not making the same mistakes over and over. So I do ask that you talk to one another as you go through this new experience too, and see how other people reach out and ask the questions, and that way we are supporting one another. Speaking of supports, there are a lot more supports available here. May 1st, you'll have the new Den Leader Guides, handbooks, leader books, how-to books. Unfortunately, guys, the Cub Scout songbook is staying exactly the same. Many of us might want to hear a few new songs, but that one is exactly the same. Okay, all of the details that I've shared with you and more are available here. The e-learning tools become available at the end of this month, so you can look forward to seeing those. And you will have the position-specific training on e-learning, as well as an overview of what's new, all at the end of this month. And I'm sure that'll come out to all of us as soon as it's available. I'm sure Garrett will be sharing that with us. There'll be the new PAC meeting plans that will come out April 1st, but to preview what you can expect with the PAC meeting plans will be Josh. He can share more with you on that. You want me to get the other one?
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm Cub Master for PAC 74. Like she said, I'm pretty new at this, so bear with me. Got it? Okay. So I'm supposed to be talking about the new PAC meeting plans. And realistically, what we're going to be going over is The structure of the PAC meeting plans, awarding adventure loops at the PAC meetings, how to use the PAC meeting plans to plan PAC meetings, and the adventures and the PAC meetings, actually the curriculum, at least the title themselves. A lot of this, like she said, is coming out April 1st. We should have more details as it comes out. But, in any case, PAC meetings are staying basically the same in structure. Still the 7 steps, before the meeting, the gathering, the opening, the program itself. The real change comes in the recognition portion of it. We'll get to that in a moment. Closing and then after the meeting. The recognition portion, they've got a suggested way to run the recognition for the adventure loops themselves. By then, you call the name of the Cub Scouts who have come forward or who have completed the month's adventure. The den leader passes them the award, the loop, the card. Cub Master gives them a Cub Scout handshake. Den leader or den chief can speak on what they did specifically for that adventure. As always, you use positive cheer and just have fun with it to get them involved, get the boys involved to recognize their accomplishments. There's a couple other options. Me personally, I'm kind of a first option at hand type of guy. But other options would be to have, like, if the den's doing the adventure, the den could run the recognition portion of it, have the whole den stand together in order to be recognized. You adapt it kind of to the month's themes. We've got the individual themes for the 2015 year going forward coming up here in a second. But you could adapt it, how you present it around those themes and around the point of the Scout Law for that month. PAC meeting plans to support the new program, 12 Points of Scout Law, posted April 1st to scouting.org. Went on there early this morning kind of to try to get an idea of what the plans and that kind of thing were. It's still not up as of yet, but it's coming. They've at least got the general ideas in the roundtable notes for this month. While the points of Scout Law are not in order as members of the BSA respond, it's important to cover each of them over a 12-month period. One of the things it says in the notes is, while they suggest that you follow the order that they've got them set in, adapt it to your PAC and your troop meetings as necessary. If one's got to move because you can't get someone to demonstrate trustworthy or something on that month, move around and adjust as necessary. It's a pretty small picture there. There's actually a better one here towards the end. Nope, not on this one. Okay. Well, that's what we get. But, starting September 2015 is when the themes and the points of Scout Law really come into being with these plans. Starts off with Conservation, Point of Scout Law is clean, goes through Cubs in Action, Great Race, Friends Near and Far, Scout Salute, and ends in August with some more Cub Scout Fun and Courteous. They also have on these notes the 2016-2017 calendar as well. Says here, order for delivery of the adventures at den meetings is not specified to the den leader. Leaders plan the adventure required for rank advancement first, and then elective adventures according to their climate and location as per the norm. Other PAC outings, PAC campouts, requirements can be supported by PAC planning of PAC campouts, all-day events, and campfires. In other words, you can take the adventures and the electives and tie them into your group events, into your PAC level events, and so on. Everything's at scouting.org. The site itself is right there. And as more comes out, it'll end up going out and about.
One of the things I forgot to mention that I think is a perk with this is the way that the activities are organized and the way that their achievements are recognized is universal from den to den to den. Because, you didn't deal with arrow points at a younger age, but then you do as they get older, and that discrepancy between different levels is gone, and I know it confused a lot of parents understanding how that worked, and why it changed from level to level. So that is one advantage, and it's also an advantage, I think, to den leaders
Yep, absolutely.
who are growing within the program. I just also wanted to put in a plug. If you do not have an annual calendar for the entire upcoming year and you do not share that calendar, I can guarantee you're not going to be near as successful. You know, I think there was a study in Indiana that said that the most successful Cub Scout programs were the ones that had a full year of activities planned, written on a calendar, and shared with the parents the minute that they join. And I think we're just in a society where people are planners, and they're not going to make Scouts a priority unless they get the information soon enough. So I think that's essential. It's just that your annual planning now is going to take a little bit more input from the den leaders because they'll have each of these adventures to consider as you're coming up with all of your other activities. So the time up front, though, will save you time in the end.
I'd offer to answer any questions, but I'm learning as we're going to. All of these notes are available on scouting.org, and you've got as much information as I do.
Both of those tools that you saw are also available. They have another tool that I neglected to mention that for a den leader just lists out the months of the year and which adventure you're tackling what month so that you can cater it to your environment, to your setting, to your schedule, etc. But you can get all those forms and print them out there too.
Might be a question for Kevin. Are the leader books and the new books, are those going to be available through the Scout office?
We'll be covering that here in a second. It's on the agenda, so.
Great question.
As well.
You're on the right track.
Hold that thought.
Yes. All right.
I'm going to pass the adventure worksheet around if people want to take a look at it.
All right. Sorry for the late entrance here. It's been an eventful couple of minutes here. So, all right.
Surprised you didn't get speed tickets.
Yeah, well, don't tell any of the police how fast I was going. I think I made record time from Sturgis back to here. So, all right. So I believe we had a presentation by Laura about the Little Nest Preschool. The next thing on the list for tonight is another service opportunity for your units, and that is at Horse Thief Lake. They contacted us a couple weeks ago, said they have a project that includes, currently the lake is drained right now, and I don't know what their plans are to fill that lake back up, but along the banks of the lake, there's a lot of debris and cans and pop bottles and that sort of thing. So they're looking for some scouts to potentially do that as a service project, help clean up the lake. They also do have some stone and different things to put around some of their picnic areas. So that is listed on the agenda. The contact for that is Timothy Guild. He's a forestry technician with the Black Hills National Forest. So if you're interested in doing some service hours for them, he'd be the contact to get that. And anything that you collect, can-wise or pop bottle-wise, you can turn in for recycling money. So you might be able to make a little bit of money off that as well. I have a couple things on high adventure that I wanted to mention. Troop 72 will be going to Sea Base this summer. I believe they have 3 or 4 spots that they're looking to fill. They have a couple spots that if you have a youth that would like to participate, they're looking to get those filled. And the contact person for that would be Richard Smith. He's the Scoutmaster of Troop 72, and he can get you all the information on that trip and the cost and the dates and all that sort of thing. Another high adventure opportunity this summer. So as many of you know, I'm from West Virginia, and my father is the council president there, and he is bringing a crew to Philmont in July, and they are coming through Rapid City, actually. So what they do is they have a week-long tour where they visit a bunch of different places, and this year they kind of rerouted so he could come visit me for a day in the summer. So they'll be coming through here, and then they'll be traveling to a bunch of different other places, including Colorado Springs, Mesa Verde, the Grand Canyon, and then eventually ending up at Philmont for the 12-day trek there. If you're interested, or if you have youth interested in going, or as an adult, let me know and I can put you in contact with him. They'll be coming through Rapid City on July 5th, so right after the 4th of July. They'll spend the day here doing Rushmore and some of the touristy things here, and then heading on a bus The cost for that is $1,900. And they will be, they'll work out the transportation for getting you back to Rapid City. They're obviously not going to come back through this way on their way back to West Virginia, but they will work out that transportation. So if you have anybody interested in that, definitely let me know, and we will get you set up with them. Next thing on the list is our service center and scout shop closings. Only have a couple of them coming up here in the next couple of months. April 3rd is Good Friday. We will be closed for Good Friday, and also for Memorial Day in May on May 25th. So those are those. Our next item on the agenda is Merit Badge Midway. I talked to Jennifer, and she didn't want to do a full report tonight. She wanted to get some feedback from people, what their thoughts were, concerns, ways to do things better next year. If something went well, please express that as well. They'll have a full report, including a total of all the merit badges earned and different classes that were that people participated in at the April Roundtable. So they'll give kind of a full report then. But she just wanted some feedback, and then the committee will be meeting here in the next couple of weeks before the April Roundtable. So I'll open it up to any thoughts and take some notes on things that went well or didn't go well.
Well, this is just a question. As far as the reports on what the requirements were that the boys met for the individual troops, when we get those reports, is that part of next month's roundtable as well?
For individual,
For us to find out as scout leaders what our boys did, so we can put it in our advancement reports, our advancement system.
so you should be able to, whoever registered online should be able to go in and print out your blue cards, and it'll show on each one what each boy completed. And if you have troubles with that, Jennifer or Brian can help walk you through that process of how to log in and get that information printed out correctly.
Okay.
All right. Any other things on Merit Badge Midway? Questions, concerns?
You know, our troop thought that the Merit Badge Midway was well planned and well run, with maybe one exception, and that was the lack of indication or identification of prerequisites of a lot of the classes. So a lot of our boys signed up for classes that had no prerequisites at all listed, but as it turned out, there were significant numbers of prerequisites for those classes.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought the event was very successful, but we'd really like to see better identification of prerequisites in the Merit Badge class guide.
Okay, absolutely, yeah. That's a great point.
We saw that too. I agree.
Yeah.
That did happen.
And
that may have been inexperience on the counselor's part too. There's a lot of counselors, I think, that hadn't necessarily taught and maybe thought they could get through certain things.
Sure.
So that just may be some of that, and that'll happen sometimes.
That was one of the concerns with several different counselors, that they may have thought that they were going to be able to cover more than they actually did. So not to throw any counselors under the bus, but that was a couple of classes that we've already addressed. So thank you for that, and we'll definitely do a better job of providing those prereqs in the future. So any other comments?
Well, comment about mine for environmental science, that normally I put out there what the different requirements are at prereqs, hoping that at the very least they'll do the one that's the week-long one, because I can get them through all of them over the course of the day. This year, all three boys came with a whole bunch of them done. One boy still had to do the week-long one, or two of them did, but even still, I was pretty amazed at the boys coming so well prepared, so it actually ended up shortening the day for me quite significantly.
Well, good. Awesome. Anything else, Mayor Benjamin? Yes, Kevin.
This one thing was, I think it was the chemistry merit badge. I think it's one that Zach was going to, but we had to go over to the science building, and you over here, and it's like clear on the other side, and I don't know if there's any signs pointing or tags saying, the merit badge is over here or whatever, because I was lost trying to figure out, help the guy, and Rodney had to come over and help him, because he knew where it all was about in the beginning.
Yeah, one of the things that people had a little trouble with was identifying the building that they were supposed to be in with the codes. Didn't necessarily know what EEI building or EEP building meant. So that's one of the things we'll address in the future, as well as better identification of buildings and where merit badges actually are.
One of the things about the map that you guys made, it was nice, except that those tags were so huge that they covered up whole buildings so that you couldn't see the relationship of one building to another building.
Mm-hmm. I think now that a lot of people will spend more time on the campus in the future, it'll make it a little bit easier navigating the campus, but that's also something we'll address in the future as well.
One thing I noticed with Scouting Heritage's merit badge, the merit badge book is not correct. One of the scouts, I believe it was requirement 4, it's due one of the 3, either attend a National Jamboree or High Adventure Base, or write the National Scouting Museum and request information. And one of the boys said, well, I did C. And I said, well, there is no C, because I was looking in the Scouting Heritage's book, and that was to visit a museum or a scouting display. And so when I took the information over to Garrett or to Brian, he said, well, a lot of times their worksheets, are from meritbadge.org, which is not his official site. So he looked at the Boy Scout site, and it does list 4C, but the Scouting Heritage book I bought a week prior down at the Scout office did not have requirement 4C listed in it. So I'm not sure. The date on the book was 2011, so I don't know if it's changed since then, or if it's been incorrect. The whole time.
All right.
I know, right?
That's interesting to hear. But,
the book in the Scout office.
all right, and we'll look into that one as well. I don't have a good answer on it.
It was even the color version.
I don't have a good answer for you on that one.
Well, yeah, and I don't know where that needs to go from here to get that corrected. But.
Yeah, absolutely. Made a note of it, and we will address that as well. Any other merit badge midway? Yep.
With mine, some of the kids didn't realize that there's a thing to print out or that they have requirements, or because I had requirements that had to be done.
Prerequisites.
And they go, well, I didn't get it, or So I don't know, I think the Scoutmasters need to be more adamant with the kids that they have that responsibility
to do the prerequisites. Yeah, and one of the things with prerequisites, just kind of thinking of the timeline of Merit Badge Midway, we had sent out the email saying, this event may not happen unless we get a group of people to step up and kind of take it on. So that could be an issue with why some of those prerequisites weren't done. They weren't put out in enough time for those kids to do those. So
I'm just saying, like,
in the future, they'll have more time. Yeah.
They didn't step up to do.
The scouts didn't do the prerequisites like they should have.
Right. And that's what I think it really needs to be, Scoutmasters need to be more adamant that they need to get this done.
And oftentimes it's not a prerequisite in so much that they need to have it done before they get there, is that it might take 3 months or more to complete that requirement. And so it's, unless they've already started the merit badge 3 months ago, there's no way they can have it done when they come to the class either. So.
Anything else?
I've heard comments. I was at a troop meeting Tuesday night. The food was wonderful this year.
Good. I'll pass that along to Jen. I'm sure she'll be glad to hear that.
I mean, it was just from a few words I've heard.
Oh yeah, I sat with her eating. This is. She goes, it makes a difference when you charge for the meals and I was interested in that as well.
Well, good. We'll pass that along as well to her. Anything else for Merit Badge Midway to pass along to that committee? All right. The next thing on the list is our upcoming events for the council. Our immediate event is coming up this Saturday, and that's the Rush Night, family night at the Rapid City Rush. It is the St. Patrick's Day jersey that they'll be having there. The registration for that has closed, so if you haven't got your tickets by now, you're out of luck. One note on that, if you did purchase tickets, whoever registered, they will be at will call under that person's name. So if you register as a unit and one person did that, then it will be under that person's name at the will call there in the concourse for the Rush game. The next thing on our list is the Council Pinewood Derby, which is happening next weekend at Liberty Superstores, and that will be from 10 a.m. Until approximately 2 p.m. We're going to try to get people going through there relatively fast, so it probably won't last that long. I did talk to Max at Liberty, and he assured me that it will be either in the service bay or in the showroom. So he's got to talk to his people there and figure out where they want to have it, but it will be in one of those places, and we'll have signs and things available. Right now, we have a little over 35 people registered for that, so if you haven't done that yet, if your unit hasn't done that yet, registration will close next Friday at 8 a.m. And then we will start putting in inputting everybody's names and things into the computer system to set up all the races and that sort of thing. I believe Tricia Burke had asked at the last roundtable about parking. They are going to be moving a bunch of cars around there on their lot, so there will be plenty of parking right there in front of the building in one of the sections where they typically have their cars for sale will kind of be moved out of the way, so there should be plenty of parking right there in front of the Liberty Superstores. The other thing she had asked about was food. We won't have any food vendors there. There will most likely be some candy like we had from the Scout Shop for the Merit Badge Midway event here, so there won't be lunch or anything to purchase. But we're going to try to have you out of there in time, so you shouldn't need to bring a lunch, maybe a couple snacks and some water or something like that to get you through the event. So any questions on Council Pinewood Derby? I will be the contact person for that. Brian will be out of town, so I've kind of taken the lead on that. So if you have anything, any questions or concerns or need help with registering or anything, let me know, and I will help you as best I can. Any questions on Council Pinewood Derby?
So check-ins at 10?
Check-in, it will be from 8:30 up until 10. We'll try to start the races as close to 10 o'clock as possible. Excuse me. We'll be setting up the night before, so excuse me. Everything should be ready to go in the morning at 8:30. Sweet Pea will be there doing car inspections and making sure everything's squared away. And then we'll get you checked in and start races as close to 10 as possible. So.
And you'll start Tigers and then do
Yes, so we will do the Cub Scout races first, and then we will move to the Outlaw, Boy Scout, and Adult divisions following that. If we're in the showroom, we may be able to set up 2 tracks, but I'm not sure how that's going to work yet, so I don't know where we're going to be until probably Monday. So it'll just depend on where we're at in that location. But we will start with Cub Scouts first, do all those races, and then move to the other divisions. Any other Council Pinewood Derby? If you'd like to help set up Friday evening or be part of the registration process, let me know. I could use a couple more volunteers to help do that sort of thing, either Friday evening or early Saturday morning. So. And again, I'm the point of contact for that event. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Pinewood Derby. All right. Next thing on our list is our 2015 Leadership Breakfast. It will be on April 1st, not an April Fool's joke, at 6:45 a.m. At the Best Western Dakota. Chad Lewis, former tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he is currently the development director for BYU Athletics. He will be our keynote speaker, and that event will be happening again on April 1st at 6:45. If you have any homeschooled kids in your unit that would be willing to participate early in the morning with helping serve and do some different things with the ceremony and the presentation there, let us know. We're looking for some homeschool kids. We don't want anybody to miss school, but if you have homeschool kids in your units, let us know, and we will try to work them into being a part of that and helping us out. If you're interested in sponsoring a table or just being a participant in the Leadership Breakfast, let us know, and we will get you that information about how to do that. A lot of the information is here on our council website about how to sign up, and has a little bio about Chad Lewis, so you can do that. One thing that's kind of cool that we're doing coming up here in the next few days, if you've never heard of Thunderclap, go on YouTube and watch that. It's kind of a social media campaign where You sign up, and at a certain time on March 20th, it'll post to your social media accounts about our leadership breakfast. So everyone who you're connected to on Facebook or Twitter or all those sorts of different things, we're trying to flood the Rapid City area with that campaign, just getting the word out about the leadership breakfast. So you can do that on our website. There's several places where you'll see the Thunderclap campaign. We're trying to get up to 100 people to sign up for that, so that way we can kind of flood the social media sites with the leadership breakfast stuff. So it's pretty cool little thing that we're trying to utilize on social media. Any questions about the leadership breakfast?
You know about how long it'll last?
So Day of Excellence is also on April 1st, and they are starting, I believe, at 9:30 or 10. We're going to try to have everybody out by 8:30. So everybody who wants to participate in Day of Excellence can also participate in that as well at the Civic Center. So hour and a half to 2 hours maximum for that event. Any other questions? All right, next thing on our list is the spring training weekend. The registration for that is live now. We had talked about that a little bit, so we put a plug in for it at the last roundtable. Our registration is live. That event is happening at Medicine Mountain, April 10th through the 12th. They will be teaching outdoor leader training, and Kevin George will also be teaching the Legion of Trades trainer course. The cost for that event is $35 for both those. That includes all your materials, food for the weekend. I know the Black Hills Dutchers are going to be there to cook one of the meals or several of the meals for the weekend. So if you have any questions, call the Scout office. Sweet Pea is kind of heading that up, so you can also contact him with any questions about what the course is or how to get registered or anything like that.
I got a question.
Yep.
Kevin. Is that just for adults, or can scouts go to that?
14 and older.
14 and older.
That's BSA policy, 14 and older.
Okay.
Mainly because, I'm sorry?
For Leave No Trace?
Yes, the Leave No Trace trainer.
No trace trainer.
And I haven't really seen stipulations, but I think it probably boils down to you're a Boy Scout that's 14, you probably got enough rank or experience camping. That's part of the whole deal.
Now, is it 14 or is it start?
14.
Okay.
And then also being able to stay focused and participate in a academic.
Why am I going then?
I have no idea.
Maybe you signed up.
I will be.
All right, so 14 and older is the official word on who can participate in that course.
I'll pass it out.
All right, good deal.
Pass out.
Are you kicking?
I have a question for you, Garrett.
Yep.
Is the council offering NYLT or spout this year?
I do not, at this current time, we have not confirmed that NYLT will be happening. Greg Cruise Camp has kind of taken that on. He has not contacted us about training dates for staff or anything like that, so I can't confirm that that will actually be happening, but that will go out once we confirm those dates and that sort of thing with him. So. Good question, though. Anything else on the training weekend?
What time do you have to be there on Friday?
I should know that.
Is it 7 p.m.?
6 p.m. 6 p.m. is the start. I believe they'll do a minimal amount of training that evening. A 1 hour course maybe that evening. The majority of it would be on Saturday and then partially on Sunday morning as well. So that's 6 p.m.
What are the dates on that again?
The 10th through the 12th of April. All right, the next thing on our list is the OA Section Conclave, which will be happening April 24th through the 26th. I know Brian and Don Kellogg are planning on going and taking a potential group of youth with them as well. If you're interested in participating in that, I believe it is in
Guernsey, Wyoming.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. I was going to say the wrong
That
place,
would've
but yes, in
What was it
Guernsey,
for again?
Wyoming.
I was chatting, sorry. What was it for again?
OA Conclave.
Or the Arrow. You have to be a member.
Or the Arrow. Second
Well, then,
conclave.
good, I'll just.
Next year.
Next thing on the list is the Spring Camporee, which will be happening May 1st through the 3rd at Devil's Tower. Registration for that will be up and running here in the next couple of weeks, and also a flyer for that. We don't have actually we do have a price for that already. It is $20 for both youth and adults. There will be a service project for a couple hours there at Devil's Tower. That will be part of the activities happening, and then we'll also have a bunch of different other things happening that weekend as well. Like I said, registration will be going live here in the next couple of weeks for that. And again, the cost is $20 for both youth and adults.
At each, or
Yes. Yep.
what's the age group for that?
Weeblos through Scout Age kids. So
And the Weebles have to sign up with the troop has to sign up for Weebles.
yes. Any questions on that? The theme
Who's the
for that?
contact person for that?
What was that?
Who is the contact person for that?
Brian will be the contact person for that weekend.
Has the committee been started yet for it?
We have contacted a couple people that have tentatively agreed to co-chair the event, and they will be working on putting that committee together once they work out the co-chairman position. So if you're interested, let me know, and I can pass that information along to them if you'd like to be a part of that committee or be a part of the planning process for that event. Anything else on that? Spring Camporee. All right, next thing on our list is the OA Spring Ordeal, and that will be happening at Medicine Mountain on May 15th through 17th. I'll put a plug in for OA elections. If your unit has not had an OA election yet, contact Brian or Don Kellogg and get that scheduled here in the next month or so those kids can be a part of tap outs this summer and get elected into the Order of the Arrow so they can have those elections. So, and then the other thing that will also be happening that same weekend is the Busy Beaver Weekend, and that has been an event where we have a number of projects that happen at Medicine Mountain in preparation for getting summer camp operation up and going, and we'll have a list of those projects and different things going on at Medicine Mountain in April as things come up, and Brent puts together some different projects that will be happening that weekend. So those things will be happening the same weekend as the Spring Ordeal. All right. Next thing on the list is Friends of Scouting. I would like to thank everyone who has already participated in their Friends of Scouting and already signed up. We've had approximately 22 units that have either had their Friends of Scouting presentation or have signed up and they're on the schedule. If you haven't, the sign up is here online, and you can fill out this form and submit it online, or you can contact me, and then I'll put that on my list and get a volunteer to come do that presentation. You can do those presentations at a Blue and Gold banquet, a Court of Honor, a troop or a pack meeting, whatever you feel is appropriate for those type of events. So we actually have one that's happening right now, and we have another one that's going to be happening tomorrow. So thank you for those units that have done that. And then also here on our council website, get something going again. All right, so that was the sign up, and then you can also find the incentives for completing your goal and matching your goal. They are free rank advancement, free cloth rank advancement for all your boys for the year, $25 off summer camp at Medicine Mountain, or free Boys Life for your entire unit. And then the individual levels, if you donate at a $50 level, there's a lapel pin. $160 is a unique council shoulder strip $320 is a Mylar border council shoulder strip, and $750 is a gold Mylar border council strip. So those are kind of the incentives. Again, if you haven't signed up, let us know, and we will get you scheduled for that presentation. Next thing on our list is popcorn. I know it seems like a long way off in the fall, but it's never too early to start planning. We had a group of people that met a couple weeks ago that came up with some new strategies. We're going to be doing some different things for our popcorn sale this year. We're going to have a new prize program, a new commission structure. We're going to be doing what we call mystery houses in different communities. We're also going to have different materials for units to use to improve your sale. We're going to have a different prize program and also different incentives for each unit. So we will be going over that information at the May roundtable. And then we will have our popcorn kickoff. It is scheduled for August 22nd. The location has yet to be determined yet, and we will have a kickoff for the unit colonels and adults that are participating in the popcorn sale, and we will also at the same time have a kids kickoff. So that's why the location hasn't been determined yet. We're still working on nailing down a place for that. So we have added a couple items back in that we didn't sell last year. The 5-way chocolatey tin, we'll be selling that again at the $50 range, I believe. And there was one other that I don't know off the top of my head, but there was a couple different items that we added back in. So try to have your unit kernel, popcorn kernel, at the May roundtable so that they can get all the new information, and we'll go over price structures and all that good stuff again at the May roundtable. And that will be on May 14th. Looking down here in my notes. May 14th for the May roundtable.
Is that going to be here or in Scott office?
It will most likely be here. There might be an influx of people, so we might have to rethink that. So that will be something that we will put out in our newsletters and at the next roundtable as that comes up. So thanks for bringing that up. We will address that and get that information out. All right, the next thing on our list, kind of wrapping things up here. At the last roundtable, somebody had asked about ordering new Cub Scout material programs, and that's what you had asked about earlier as well. So we said that we would have an order form, and we do have an order form. It is on the council website under the Rushmore District tab, under the 2015 New Cub Scout Program Materials Order Form, and I will show it to you. And that is something you can print off. It has all the tiger handbooks, all the den handbooks, along with the adult leader books and some other materials that would be beneficial as adult leaders as you prepare. And those will need to be in by April 12th, which is our April roundtable. And you can print this form off and submit it to the Scout office, to Kevin or myself. And we'll make sure that we have those materials available right on May 1st.
You need the money by then as well?
What was that?
Do you need the money by then as well?
Yes. So you have to pay up front or put it on your account.
Do you know if the Den Chief books are going to change them too?
I believe they are. I have those on here as well. The Den Chief books are on this sheet for you to order, and so those most likely will be changing as well because they're on the new material order form that we got from our national supply people. So, and those are listed on here as well. So down at the bottom, I believe, is the Den Chief handbook. So, any questions on that? Actually, I misspoke on the date there, April 9th, not the 12th for that, and that is on the form there. And the April roundtable is on the 9th, not the 12th. Today's the 12th in March. That's a different date. So.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
The date that you have, of course, is the 9th. what happens if you're later than that? Will they not have Cub Scout things available at the Scout office unless you fill out the order form?
So the order form, we're just trying to get a ballpark of how many people want in the initial order. Obviously, we're going to order an excess to have in our Scout shop. It will be available, and it will be available from then on. We just wanted to make sure we wanted a ballpark so we can order enough, so the people who want it right on May 1st can have it on May 1st, and then we'll have an excess in the Scout shop that will be, obviously replenished as people buy it. So just to get a ballpark number going into the initial order, we put together the order form. So, we didn't want to order, 5,000 books and, only sell 500 of them and have the rest of them have a lot of inventory on hand. So it's just a way to control our inventory in the Scout shop and storage and that sort of thing. So good question though. They will be available throughout the year. Any other questions on ordering that stuff? All right. Next thing on the list is advancement reports. We've had a number of people who have come to the Scout shop specifically to purchase rank advancements. To get any rank advancements, you do have to have an Internet Advancement Report, and from, tenderfoot on up, you have to have a border view date and signatures on that. Not calling anybody out, it's just been an issue in the last several weeks. We've had a number of people come in, so we're just reminding you that to get rank advancements and merit badges and that sort of thing, that you do need to have an Internet Advancement Report filled out and printed out, or we can print it at the office for you and fulfill that. So just a reminder about that. And then we already did the roundtable presentation for the new Cub Scout program. Thank you, Tara, for doing that, even though she stepped out. And then the last thing on my list is our upcoming dates for the district committee meeting and the district roundtable. April 2nd and May 7th are our next two district committee meetings, both at the Scout office in the basement at 6 p.m. And then we will be having our district roundtables on April 9th and May 14th. And then the May 14th is where we will be covering popcorn information. So try to have your popcorn kernel nailed down by that time and get them here, or whether it be at the Scout office, and we will release that information in the coming weeks. Any questions, concerns, comments, anything for the good of the cause?
Did the council cancel the council planning date?
The planning meeting?
Yeah.
No, that did happen. There was very low attendance for that, but it did happen on that day at the Scout office. It was on our council calendar, and it did happen. There was just not good attendance at that event, unfortunately.
I wanted to take just 1 minute to elaborate on the Sea-Base trip that you mentioned earlier. On Trip 72. We are leaving for Sea-Base July 11th, so the trip is July 11th. Return to Rapid City on the 21st. Most of you are probably familiar with Sea-Base, but it's one of the high adventure bases for Boy Scouts out of Key West, Florida. We'll be flying out of Denver, going down there, and we'll be on a big sailing ship for 7 days and then traveling back. We have a crew size of 18, and we've lost 2 boys because we had to register a year and a half ago. So inevitably, we've lost a couple of boys. So we want to replace at a minimum the 2 boys we lost, because we have to have a minimum of 18 people on the crew. They will take up to 20, so if somebody had more than 2 boys interested, we can take a maximum of 4. The fee for Sea-Base itself is about $900 per scout, and we're guessing somewhere in the $600, $700 range for travel costs and spending money. We've already got a block of airline tickets purchased out of Denver for about $300. So we're thinking $1,500, $1,600 per scout, all in costs. Again, it's a 1-week sailing adventure out of Key West, Florida, where they do fishing and snorkeling and stop in Key West for a day in the middle of the week. Flying in and out of Denver, leaving July 11th, returning July 21st. So if that's of interest to any of your scouts, contact one of us at Troop 72. We'd be happy to have a couple of additional scouts.
14 and older.
14 and older is correct. You have to be a minimum of 14, and you have to be able to pass the swim test That's pretty critical down there. The first thing they do is put you through a swim test when you get there. If you can't pass, you got to figure out how to get home.
Good deal. Thank you for expanding upon that trip. So, any other questions, concerns?
What was
Yes.
decided about wood badge at that planning meeting?
Wood badge did not happen at that planning meeting. The Wood Badge Committee is tentatively putting together a schedule for sometime this year for Wood Badge to happen. They are in the process of completing the forms for that, but I don't have any other details other than that. So there's not been a date set or confirmed for that event, but they are working on trying to have that event this year.
I got something from Todd Mueller the other day that had talked about Wood Badge, but I didn't bring it. And I thought they did have dates. So if you want, you should call Todd. He'll know what the date's going on. He dropped off the GPS units to me and had this thing in there, and it had about Wood Badge in there. And so I was just like, well, that ain't happening for me, but I don't know what I gave to, so.
Like I said, they're in the process. The Wood Badge Committee is in the process of completing that paperwork. So, but it has not come to our office yet.
I will call Todd and get the information.
Any other questions? Anything else? Kevin?
Elaine just gave me this patch for Bear Badge Midway. She said they found it at Hardee's last Sunday, the day after Bear Badge Midway. So if any units hear of a boy losing a Merit Badge Midway hanging patch at Hardee's on Sunday or maybe Saturday, found it Sunday, it'll be the scout on it.
Maybe that's close.
Perfect. All right.
I'm learning.
Anything else? I believe we're going to have our commissioners meeting here immediately following, so thank you for coming. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, concerns, let myself or Kevin know. We'll be glad to help you.
Okay, Dakota has our trip at 10 o'clock, and it's qualifying for state. So I'm hoping
How does the business have $2
I would say yes.
consider him?
We will cut
We could do
a check in the next week or so.
And if I can reschedule his
So
qualifying
based on how many
shoot,
other
then
tickets they buy.
But they just need to
Mail out meetings around table line. So I'll let you know.
It'll be 8:30 or 9 somewhere here. I'll just take one.
Yes. Well, the boys wanted to. Well, the thing is,